Happy Friday. Turn the chat on. Waste less time. Bleak, how you doing, brother? Post. Good to see you, my man. As always, I'll give it a couple of minutes. You'll probably be like one of the 3 people that join the live stream, but that's how we roll, man. So apparently, like, look what they're doing here. They really want. So I'm gonna try to reload this. But they're not gonna let me read it. They just keep popping up with these paywalls. Even though it's Wired, like who gets a paywall on Wired magazine? Hopefully I'll be able to get through it one of these times. But before I start getting into stuff, if anybody has any questions or anything they would like to say, I like to begin and end my streams this way because the reason I like going live is for the interact. Yeah, we're gonna skip this one. Is for the interaction, is to know what's other people's perspectives on things or what it is that they're interested in. And it doesn't always necessarily even have to pertain to the topic at hand, of course. But I mean, it would make more sense if it did. It doesn't necessarily have to. I'll give it a couple more minutes. We got 2 people, 2 thumbs up. That's a good ratio. I like it better when... Wait a minute, what just happened? So now we're on 2. Am I not allowed to read the news? Let's try this one more time. This is the Daily Beast. Everybody has access to the Daily Beast. So they better not... What is going on? Obviously, these articles worked completely fine. Unlock article? There's a pay... Why is there a paywall? What? Unlock article. Yeah, let's unlock the damn article. Yeah, yo, Bleak, they seriously have stepped their game up, man. I was just talking to my wife the other day about that. I was like, they're doing like stuff. They've always been doing things, obviously, but they're doing extra, a lot extra. So I guess I'm gonna join with Google. They just want to know. Well, now they know. How many people we got? 4? And only 3 thumbs up? I'm going to end the stream. No, we're down to 3, so 3 for 3, that's good. All right, let me jump on in. I can't not talk about what's happening right now as far as our rights are concerned. You've come to the wrong channel if you want to hear something else. Because I can't close it. Finally. There is so much happening on so many fronts that it is difficult to really keep track of it all and put it in an order that's relatively easy to understand, for myself at least, because there's multiple issues at hand, as we will see, and we've been seeing. Now, this is nothing new. This is what I've done. I've always covered this stuff. The difference is, well, there's a few of them. The absolute over flooding of articles of this nature, for one. They're pushing it out there. They want the masses to know, without a doubt, the things that I'm going to be going over in this article and have been going over for upwards of a decade and a half. What's up, Tab? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here, of course. You don't got much to catch up on. I just started, basically. James, how you doing, brother? So let's jump on in. A day after visiting the sites of the October 7th Hamas massacre and meeting with Israeli government officials amid backlash over his promotion of anti-Semitism. So Elon Musk is promoting anti-Semitism, apparently, right? And basically, he responded, if for anybody unfamiliar with what they're talking about here, is somebody had stated a little truth nugget. I want to be careful not to get a strike, because if they're labeling Elon Musk an anti-Semite for that, and I'm sure I would get the same and a strike as well. So he responded on X, on Twitter, formerly known as X. No, that's backwards. And just basically said that's the truth, right? Somebody said something about some people, and it made sense. And Elon Musk said, yeah, that's the absolute truth. And you can't do that. You can't do that when you're talking about a certain group of people. You can't say anything at all about a certain group of people unless you're singing their praises. Otherwise, you are. So in order to lend credence, oh, did I skip something? Ex-owner Elon Musk boosted yet another unhinged right-wing conspiracy theory. So we got unhinged, right-wing conspiracy theory associated with Elon Musk. And what's Elon Musk associated with? Twitter, formerly known as X. I know I'm saying it backwards. Free speech, right? I mean, that's what he keeps talking about. He keeps saying, screw F the advertisers. It's free speech, free speech. Now, I am not a fanboy of Elon Musk. In fact, quite the opposite. But you got to give credit where credit's due. He's playing the game very well. You have to if you're going to be the Antichrist, right? You're not going to. You gain. How's that saying go? You attract more flies with honey or something like that. In order to lend credence to Pizzagate, a years-old conspiracy about a Democratic-run pedophile sex ring that was the precursor to QAnon. I just hit all of the flag words for YouTube. Musk peddled the false claim that an ABC reporter convicted on child pornography charges had debunked Pizzagate. In reality, the reporter in question never once covered the crazed conspiracy theory. Okay. Hours after tweeting a meme declaring Pizzagate is real, the mercurial billionaire quietly deleted the post following widespread criticism. Why do you suppose he did that? Why do you suppose any of this is happening, right? So I mention every once in a while drawing the line in the sand. Now they're building these concentration camps, but they're building these refugee centers all over the place. We've heard about them in Chicago and in Rochester, but they're building them everywhere. And they, on top of that, FEMA already has like 942 FEMA camps sitting idly by, but staffed, waiting for whatever disaster that may arise. But they're building these massive tent. They're not tent cities. They're brick and mortar. So I don't know why the media keeps referring to them as that, but they're building massive installations that can house thousands upon thousands of people under the guise of, well, there's plenty of illegal aliens flooding through the border and we need to be able to house them. Convenient. They're building them nonetheless. Now, who ends up being a priority remains to be seen. Right? We can make it look good. We can start bringing in the homeless and some of the illegal aliens and let them go in there and be like, look, this is what we're doing. But the moment there's a massive psyop and New York City gets attacked from the FBI and DHS and CIA, the moment that happens, they're going to be like, well, where do we put these people? They can't go to prison. You know why? Because I covered multiple stories talking about how prisoners are being radicalized in prison by these far-right extremist conspiracy theorists. So they need to be separated, but it's immoral to just throw them in their own cell and not let them interact with the rest of the prisoners. They were pushing this pretty hard, and at the time I was saying, this is what's coming. Why else? Everything that is being broadcast to you is to formulate your reality, is to create the world they want you to live in. They only provide the information they want you to know. And by knowing that information, you put those pieces of different stories together and you get your worldview out of it. But if it's all based on bullshit, then you have a bullshit worldview. And there's plenty of people with that worldview. P4, good to see you. So they're going to have these giant centers open for business, open to start taking people in. We'll see if it ever amounts to anything more than that. Seems like I've been pretty damn on the money when it comes to these things. Well, you never know what day you're going to be wrong. This isn't the first time that Musk, who had made a habit of jumping aboard a variety of conspiratorial trains, has boosted Pizzagate. While facing an advertiser exodus over his embrace of course, right? Because they're corporations. They're not businesses. They're not companies. They are the what's the word I'm looking for? Amalgamation. Somebody throw it in the chat if you know what I'm trying to say. But they are the complete mixing of company and federal yes, that word. Amalgamation. Thank you, Tab. That's what they are. Of all of the things that they're trying to push, right? If they control the businesses, if they control the government, if they control the media, if they control the money systems, if they control it all, then they can push whatever agenda that they want to, and nobody can do a damn thing about it, is what they hope. An amalgamation. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. Thank you, though. It happens a lot when I'm going live. The pressure. Oh. So apparently it's not the first time, and probably won't be the last, because I've been seeing a lot of QAnon in the media lately. We'll cover a little bit of that as well, and they're clearly building up to something, right? Everything is like, oh, these extremists, everybody's being radicalized, and we need something is. I honestly think we're going to see something this weekend. I don't think it's going to be massive, but I think it's going to feed into I mean, the timing would be right as far as I'm concerned. That tomorrow or Sunday, we might see something that would greatly further that narrative, but we'll see. New Edge, how you doing, brother? So Pizzagate, for those, if you're following this channel, because the only people that ever see my videos are people that follow this channel for some reason. Let's go to my analytics. YouTube. You can do all of your little bullshit games. You're not going to shut me up. Kathy Hochul isn't going to shut me up. You can think that you're high and mighty and all powerful and the government, etc. But it might not work this time. Just saying.
Life, the second NYPD suicide in 2 days. The police commissioner has declared a mental health crisis in his department, and he spoke today with our Jeff Pegues.
A mental health crisis in the department. I wonder why. Maybe when you see somebody's face being ripped off and worn like a horror movie by the front runner for the United States president, might be a little damaging to the mental health. But I doubt that's the reason they died. I don't think for 1 second, and I don't think anybody does, right? The Clinton body count, 9 officers committed suicide out of the 12 that were covering the Podesta emails that seen Frazzle Drip. Frazzled RIP. Because the girl was clearly frazzled before her face was ripped off. It's disgusting. God help us all that this evil exists among us right now. And not only does it exist among us, it is the overpowering, overarching control mechanisms of the entire world. They, the synagogue of Satan, those who pretend to be but are not of the Lord.
Robert Echeverria died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound at home last night. The 25-year veteran officer's suicide came a little more than 24 hours after a 35-year-old officer took his own life. Commissioner James O'Neill is still struggling with the news.
You know, you think, okay, this is going to be the last one. And last night, got a phone call, and I just did it. It just almost knocked me down.
9th officer suicide in one department. How many officers commit suicide in all the departments? If you took, I don't know, let's say Montana, or you took Illinois, how many officers committed suicide? Let's find out. Yeah, that's going to be tough to find that. Many police, they're not going to let me do it. It's funny how things work when you're going live. That's not the only one I got. Sorry, guys. 1 second.
According to the web search results, there is no definitive answer to how many police officers committed suicide in Montana in 2023. According to the web search results, there were at least 3 cases of police officers committing suicide in New York City in 2023.
So, out of all of New York City, there's been 3 this year. But one department has 9. And every single one of them, the common denominator is they were looking into the emails. They were tasked with the Podesta emails and the laptop and what they were able to retrieve. And there was this little icon that said insurance policy. And then when they clicked the insurance policy of John Podesta's laptop, or Anthony Weiner, I'm sorry, I don't know why I say Podesta. I say Podesta because there was a lot of back and forth between Podesta, but it was Anthony Weiner's laptop. My apologies. Somebody should have. Are you guys still here? I gotta make sure that everything. Oh, they turned the chat back off. I'm sorry, guys. What's up, Jen? Appreciate you being here, guys. I wasn't ignoring you. They've been at it. They've been playing games, and it's been going through the roof as far as the type of shit that they're willing to do. Yeah, Chicken Love, right. So Anthony Weiner's laptop. Did you guys correct me at all while I was running my mouth promoting misinformation? Regardless, it was Anthony Weiner's. And on his laptop, it said insurance policy. Matter of fact, let's see if BitChute has anything about it. Suicided, Tab. They were all killed. They all seen the video. I've seen the video. I have the video. I have the thumb drive of it. It's my kill switch.
And if Washington doesn't have enough to talk about these days, the Washington Times reported today that unidentified White House aides in the Carter, Reagan, and Bush administrations now are being investigated for using the services of a call boy ring. paper reports that 2 of the male prostitutes were given a late-night tour of the White House last year.
Potentially hundreds of military employees and contractors who may have bought child pornography online but haven't been prosecuted or even in some cases investigated. That's right, you heard me, child pornography. As many as 1,700 names, according to a U.S. Senator, on a list of 5,200.
He's one of them. Anderson Cooper is one of them. Come.
From an internet sting operation overlooked the first time around 4 years ago.
I think in the gay world, some of the most important, enriching, and incredibly, life-affirming, important, shaping relationships very often between.
They do to me. So I'm sitting on a treasure trove of shit that would get me killed in a second. And I think they know what I'm doing. They have, as careful as I am, like I only use my phone for my YouTube. I only use my laptop for certain things. I only use the desktop for other, like I keep as regardless of my VPNs, regardless of my firewalls, nothing I do will ever put up enough enough space, enough distance to keep the prying eyes of the government out of my business, of your business. They are always going to know if they're interested, they will always know exactly what it is that they want from you and be able to obtain it. However, a good insurance policy, hence the name on Anthony Weiner's laptop, is to have a bunch of information scattered around to close friends that if anything ever happens to you, and I don't, so here, let me explain it. I'll just explain it to you. I created a program that if I don't check in every 3 days, if I go more than 72 hours without typing a period or the letter A, if I am inactive, regardless of what I say, it doesn't matter. I just have to open up the program and type something in. That way it acknowledges and it refreshes and then it resets to 72 hours. If that doesn't happen, if 72 hours ever go by, if I go on vacation and forget to do it, there's I would never forget to do it. But if that ever happened, some shit's gonna go down. It's automatically set to load on 2 different sites. It will automatically provide the encryption code for the people that are sitting on copies of the thumb drive. Because you can't just, this isn't something you can just share. That's why it's on the dark web, right? And I'm sure some of you have probably seen it, but you didn't see it online. You did see it online, but you didn't see it online, right? You had to have only witnessed it because there's no way it will remain up. But there are ways. So 72 hours go by. There's emails that automatically get sent. It's not complicated code. It's very easy to do that. Just be like, HT74/send algorithmic. It's like a simple. It's not difficult anyway. But it's important because if something ever does happen, then people need to know. And maybe I'll go out for surgery one day, and that'll be divine intervention, right? Like, I don't know. Something may happen where I can't do it. Now, there is a fail-safe. I'm not going to talk about that. But there's a lot of stuff out there, guys, of like when people say like the QAnon thing and like drain the swamp and Trump, that's bullshit. That is bullshit, because if I, a nobody, can access some of the craziest information and videos that would put very prominent, powerful people away for a very long time, then clearly those in power who have the best of the best working under them, doing whatever it is that they're told to do, have way more. So it wouldn't be nothing if you really wanted to jail Hillary Clinton, right? Like, remember Trump says, oh, well, you would be in jail. And everybody would love it. They're like, yeah, clapping like seals. And the same thing goes for Trump. If they really wanted to put Trump away, then there's more than enough information to do the same. Guys, listen closely. You should really start learning about Onion and Tor, and really start. Now the dark web is full of horrible things, but that doesn't mean you have to search those out. It's also full of very important information that can never make its way onto the normal internet. This whole video that I was going to do, but somehow got sidetracked into what I am saying now, would have been about what I often talk about, the continuation of furtherance of censorship and making sure you can't say this, you can't say that, right? Like those, like, what are they even talking about with that? Oh, you can't say things about anything, right? If it's critical of Jews, if it's transgenderism, or if it like, oh, everybody's so sensitive, we can't say shit, that is so far removed off of things that are actually important. So if you can't say anything like that, good luck ever talking about or releasing information that actually can fundamentally make change. It won't happen. And they know that, and that's why they're dotting their I's and crossing their T's, because they want to make sure and they will succeed. They will get their way. Look what's happening in Ireland right now, man. It's a test run. They don't give a shit about Ireland. They could care less about Ireland. You think what they're doing in Ireland is about Ireland? No, it's about the United States. The last stand of we are the last stand in the United States. I've talked to plenty of people in other countries multiple times over years and years and years, hundreds if not thousands by now. And one of the things that I've noticed is they know more so than I do that if we fall here in the States, then it's all gone, all is lost, never to be returned again. Are we willing to do that? Are we willing to forego humanity and just let the tyrants do as they will? Or can something somehow occur where we may, just maybe, be able to break through the chains, open up a few people's eyes, and get a message out? Yeah, it's a beta, 100%, 100%. And that's usually how it works. They usually do these things in other countries that are already under tyrannical control. They don't have the same type of constitution that we do. They have constitutions in name only. The difference between America and the United States of America and the rest of all of the countries, the remaining 196 of them, I believe, is our entire law system, all of it, is based on the predication that the Constitution is the be-all, is everything. And everything that is created in law afterwards must fall in line with that. That's not the case in Great Britain, in Ireland, in France, in Germany, in any of the countries that have constitutions. Now, it sounds good. They have the same, like, freedom of speech, and they have, but it's not a foundation for them like it is here. And the reason being is because it was people like you and I that fled tyranny and came to a new land, and we're like, we are not going to do that shit again. We're going to do everything we can to set up a new place that is devoid, that is anything but tyrannical, and encourages free expression and your God-given rights, and just absolutely with like divine intervention, the way this came about. I talk about this often, but for anybody that's unfamiliar with the creation of not just this land, but the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, it's really amazing. And I'm not a big history buff. I don't like too much of it. I mean, you need to know history, obviously, but it's not, a lot of it's boring, just straight boring. But there are certain things when it comes to this country. There was good and evil, and they both succeeded in creating this country. And it's a yin and yang. It's a dynamic that one has to win out eventually. And it looks like right now that the evil is, right? Because all the other, they've already taken over every institution, everything that they need to. And evil is running amok. And they're in the most powerful positions that you could possibly be in. They're in the positions that create legislation, that make amends to the amendments. And we got to pay close attention to this stuff. We can't be idle. We can't just be passive. We have to be on the ball. We have to see what it is that they're doing. We have to pay attention to the laws being passed. We have to pay attention to the bullshit that is constantly coming out of the mainstream media and read between the lines so we can guard against it.
Between younger boys and older men, they can be hugely positive experiences for those young boys.
Love you! We love you, Milo!
Well, Pizzagate, it became a major story weeks ago when an armed man decided to investigate a D.C. area pizza place for himself.
Most people who have been researching the dark underbelly of the worldwide conspiracy enveloping the planet in its new world order have long been saying that they practice ritual abuse, rape, torture, and cannibalism of children. Most of the evidence that has been provided over the years is scattered and quickly suppressed by powerful people, and most of the public has been unaware or simply unwilling to look, with any of the many scandals simply appearing as passing blips on the radar. However, with the recent Pizzagate revelations, we are now able to present a compelling case with lots of concrete and circumstantial evidence that points to a massive, terrifying conspiracy operating right under the surface at the highest levels of power around the world. We will start with some of the findings regarding the Pizzagate scandal, but it will not be a comprehensive, detailed investigation, as it will not be our entire focus. We will be using this as a gateway to presenting a much bigger picture. One that spans both sides of the political spectrum, involves not just satanic cults, but finds itself operating within the Vatican, is present behind the scenes and on the screen of the mainstream media, and involves the movers and shakers of big business and finance.
What are we watching?
Let's start our narrative a week before election night 2016. The majority of the mainstream media and political power players had been on the side of Hillary Clinton, but the growing alternative media heralded Trump as the last stand of a dying republic. Included in the fray was WikiLeaks with Julian Assange at the helm. Previously, the organization had been such a thorn in the side of the right wing regarding Bush's war on terror, and was championed by the left for it. But
Not a bad idea. Me and my brother used to speak that way. He would say, Doug to gin, nit sud. Doug to gin, nit sud.
this election, everything that was exposed by WikiLeaks was incredibly damaging to an already weakened Clinton, who had been plagued with health problems and FBI investigations. Although Clinton's talk of a vast right-wing conspiracy has been laughed at since the 90s regarding Bill's sexcapades, there was actual talk the week before the election by people such as former CIA spy master and PSYOPs expert Dr. Steve Pichesnik about a counter-coup being undertaken by a faction of the intelligence community to keep Clinton out of the White House and prosecute her for her crimes.
The real issue underlying a lot of Bill Clinton's nefarious activities, as well as Hillary Clinton's sexual activities, is the fact that we know that both of them have been a major part and participant of what's called the Lolita Express, which is a plane owned by Mr. Jeff Epstein, a wealthy multimillionaire who flies down.
You know what the Lolita is? You know who Lolita is? Why did Jeffrey Epstein call his plane the Lolita Express? You know what the Lolita is? A movie that's about a 14-year-old girl that's with like a 48-year-old man.
Under the Bahamas, and allows Bill Clinton and Hillary to engage in sex with minors. That is called pedophilia. So not only will she be charged with obstruction of justice, with lying to a prosecutor in the FBI, she will also be charged with pedophilia, sex with minors, and other assorted issues.
Around this time, we also saw the NYPD seize hardware from Anthony Weiner, the disgraced former congressman who was married to Hillary's top aide, Huma Abedin, who had recently landed himself back in hot water for sexting a photo of himself with an erection right next to his young son and sexting a 15-year-old girl. We do not know what evidence was contained.
You think that's by accident? You think you don't know what he's doing when he posts that shit? Now, of course, it wasn't supposed to get out. There is so much, guys. There is so much being held from the public. Like, we hear the media constantly coming down, and I got plenty of it up. I got plenty of articles talking about Pizzagate and the conspiracy theory. So much so that it was so detrimental to them that they had to stage a psyop with some dude that was that was going in there and he was going to do, like, now they're framing it as like, if you even question any of our political figures and think that they're anything but the best of the best and on the up and up, and they could never be a part of anything. Rich and powerful people could never be pedophiles, could never be anything. And we just even thinking of the idea, just toying with the idea itself is enough to label you a far-right extremist conspiracy theorist. And we know, we should by now, because God knows how many different videos I've made covering the fact that the DHS and the FBI are focused on those two categories far-right extremists, conspiracy theorists, and most recently, white supremacists. But I guarantee you, on a separate note, if I go in and look right now, let's check out one of my other browsers and say, I don't know, white supremacists and Pizzagate. Let's see what comes up. Conspiracy theorist. Oh, wait, here we go. Wikipedia posting white Pizzagate redirects here for the pizza throwing incident at a 2004 a Twitter account posting white. No. That's not the same Pizzagate. What? Wait a minute. Let me check this out for a second. Pizzagate is a conspiracy theory that went viral during the 2016 United States presidential election cycle, falsely claiming that the New York City Police Department, who, by the way, had 9 officers who committed suicide in one department out of the 12 that were covering Anthony Weiner's laptop, side note, had discovered a pedophile ring linked to members of the Democratic Party. Go figure, the bunch of satanic cocks. While searching through Anthony Weiner's emails, it has been extensively discredited by a wide range of organizations. Oh, including the Washington, D.C. police. So don't worry about the 9 out of the 12 people that committed suicide that were covering the story. Now, this isn't me. I showed you that shit a minute ago. 9 officers in one department committed suicide. In 2023, out of all of New York City, not one department, out of all of New York City, we've had 3. But no, don't worry about it, because the Washington, D.C. police said it's discredited. Yeah, they were, Jen. Washington, D.C. is full of tunnels. Full of them. Underground tunnel. In the whole United States is. There is an entire underground system of massive proportions. Cities underground that you couldn't even fathom. And it ties in with, I don't know if you want to call them demons or aliens, depending on your belief systems. But there's a lot of shit going on. And we are getting close to the time where it's time where I start letting this shit out. And YouTube is clearly not going to be the platform in which I'm going to be able to do this. But I was trying to reach a number. I was doing my best to, there are certain people I'm looking for. There's certain people I want in my circle, I'll say. And that I believe would be, I mean, many of you I've sought after. Most of the people that ended up coming to my channel, did you just happen by it? Did you just, oh, I've seen this in my feed. Did you stumble across my channel? Did you? I don't have them all, but time is of the essence, and we're losing a lot of it very, very rapidly. And something's got to give. We'll see what that will be soon enough. But this shit is so disturbing, and there's so much, and what pisses me off the most is the fact that not only are they just like sweeping it under the rug and hiding it, but they're turning it around that anybody who looks into it, anybody who's concerned about powerful political figures that are involved in this type of behavior are literally on the top of the government's threat watch list. You can't make this shit up. What happened? They don't want me to watch it? I gotta jump ahead.
An IMDb actor whose father is involved in investigating child trafficking walked into the DC pizzeria armed with a rifle and looking for children. This event was used to show how dangerous this supposed fake news investigation is.
James Alefantis, owner of Comet Ping Pong in Washington, D.C. James, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What a terrible ordeal this must have been for you.
It has been.
Oh my God.
When this man walked into your restaurant.
What up? Look, that's Fox News. Those are your Trumpers. Those are your QAnoners. Oh, you poor baby. Let me lick your tears. The horrible things you had to go through because people were calling you exactly what you were, you fucking monster. Fucking disgusting, man. Funny how they put an ad in right now. I don't know, it's Christmas time. What are we shopping for? Brookfield? Are we getting glasses? Joe Malone? I don't know what we're buying here. I don't know what is being advertised. Shoes? Ice skates? Children. Looks like children.
Restaurant with this gun, firing multiple shots. No one was injured. You weren't there that day, right?
I was there earlier that day.
You knew things were reaching a fever pitch, but did you ever foresee that?
It had been building since before the election, so starting on November 4th, I started receiving messages on my Instagram.
Adorable. I want one. You are quickly becoming my favorite hashtagger. Hot Tard. Now, for people that aren't familiar with the hashtag Hot Tard, they're the sickest of the sick.
That were
That's why
just
there's
very
a baby
bizarre
being
and strange and accusing me of all kinds of
The
false
state of being both a hoe and a
conspiracy.
retard.
And this built and built and built and built for over.
Oh, $1,200. You guys remember when, what was it called, Melissa? When they were set, the shit with the containers? $1,400 is a magazine.
Oh, Wayfair.
Wayfair. You guys remember Wayfair? And they were like, you're ridiculous for thinking that. Although they're selling metal cabinets that you could buy at Home Depot for $400, they got listed for $48,000. They got pillows for $12,000. And every one of the names of these overly priced items happen to be the very same names of missing children. No, but we're fucking crazy for asking questions. We're the conspiracy theorists. We're the domestic extremists. We're the ones that the government wants to put on the radar. Why do you suppose that is? Shouldn't it be the other way around?
Over a month. And really, it's not just me that was involved. It was my staff who was harassed and attacked. They received Instagram messages, Facebook messages. Then it started to appear that images of children and other people were being taken from social media and blasted throughout the internet with this insane.
No coincidence there, right? And how many times have I heard Elon Musk on Twitter, on X, formerly known as X, talk about pizza. The guy loves his pizza.
Insane conspiracy idea, Phil.
Oh, and don't forget, fuck. Pardon my language, guys. I'm getting pissed off. I'm sorry.
I was there with just the adults had no clothes on.
It's not. I know cell phones were allowed in the building.
Damn it.
Conspiracy idea.
There we go.
It's really gone down the rabbit hole, but you tell me whether this has affected your business, and separate and apart from the fact that no one was injured, whether there have been real life consequences to you.
So now that I'm close to where we were. Oh man, I don't know. It's not worth the tangents. I go off on tangents, I'm sorry.
and your customers and your staff as a result of.
But it is important, though, nonetheless. Like Elon Musk, like his last party, not his this Halloween, but the Halloween before that, literally used the Transylvanian castle of Dracula. Now, for people that may not know, where do vampires come from? What are vampires? Where does that whole myth and that legend? Where do werewolves? Where do reptilians? What is it? Why does it exist? And why is it across cultures as old as time? As old as recorded history, at least. Because there has always been a race of beings on this planet that has always fed off the blood of the innocence of children, of purity in the blood that is, I forget the exact word they use, but basically, I mean, you know, like the cliche, oh, the blood, or you get the sacrificial virgin and what have you. Now, why? Well, why a virgin, and what does that mean? Like there's a whole belief, not even a belief system. The belief system is based on the people trying to make sense of the beings, of the creatures, of the race, extra-dimensional, extraterrestrial, spiritual, however, what have you. Trying to make sense of that and what it was. But seeing their vast amounts of technology and seeing that they didn't age and they could live for 900 plus years, hundreds of thousands of years at one point before the DNA was corrupted. Yes, Jen, it is adrenochrome is a big factor, but that's more of the play side of it all. There's a work side which keeps them alive, and then there's the play side which essentially gets them high, like in a unbelievable way. It taps them directly into the consciousness of what we would call Satan, right? But we've got it so twisted with theology and Christianity and Judaism, and that we think that these things are like separated in but it's way deeper than that. I don't know what I can and can't say. Fuck it.
Again, the DC police are saying this is fake. Fake.
Thank you. It's true. Yes, it's like being terrorized. It's been over a month of daily death threats to me, hundreds of phone calls to the restaurant, asking for all kinds of wild things like ordering a cheese pizza, something that we just do. We're a pizza place,
right.
A family-friendly pizza place. We've been in existence for 10 years in the same location. So it was difficult and shocking. Now, our community has rallied around us, so we have people coming in. There's families and kids. We're there. We have private security. We're trying to make sure that our staff feels safe, that our community feels safe, that our customers feel safe.
What's the bottom line quickly? What's the takeaway? What needs to change?
I think there has to be some way of breaking these things up. It's impossible that this news can go from one person to the next in a grand conspiracy theory, and there's no reporting, no ability to do anything.
I know Reddit has banned this topic on its website. I mean, slowly but surely, those who help ban it are trying to dial it back out of the safety, out of concerns for the safety of those who have been endangered by
Really, this could happen to anyone. It's not just us. It's any single person.
I know you said to our producers, it's also surreal until the gun comes in. Wow. James, thank you for being here and telling your story.
Thank you so much.
All the best to you.
Thank you.
While we're on this topic, isn't it interesting that James Alefantis visited the White House 5 times and even released a photo of Obama playing ping pong against a young boy? Along with Hillary, Obama has also held fundraisers at Comet Ping Pong. Ever wonder how a pizza shop owner gets such incredible access to the President of the United States and gets ranked as the 49th most powerful man in D.C.? Why does a pizza shop owner receive an over $10,000 donation from George Soros through the Political Action Committee, American Bridge 21st Century?
Good question.
Could this have anything to do with Soros's eye condition? And when Elephantis tags hashtag Karis James in Instagram photos of children, could this reference the acronym CARIS, Congenital Anomaly Register and Information Service? Part of the child trafficking operation appears to be dedicated to harvesting children with specific genetic anomalies.
Now, I want to talk about Maui for a second here. Now, we know what happened to Maui. We've seen him get nuked. We've seen him get attacked by direct energy weapons from the sky and completely annihilated the people less fortunate, but the natives of the land that have lived there their entire lives and their ancestors as well. But then you get the Oprah Winfrey's and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnsons of the world moving in and buying up the property with Bill Gates and Bezos and all them scumbags. And, well, it's Lahaina, depending on prime territory. Beautiful beachfront property. Now, this video potentially is going to be all over the place. I want to show you guys a lot of stuff. I want to connect all these dots for you. But during that, you know, the missing children, of course, and why the government can never admit that there was more than 130 some odd missing people that were never accounted for, because there's 1,000 almost missing children. Talk to the people there. Go to like actual people that you can't, go to the media and get your information there. Go ahead. You'll never know anything, and you will be dumber every time you do. You'll be less informed and believing bullshit that is completely the opposite of the truth. However, talk to the people on the ground, talk to the people that are experiencing it, that are photographing, that are documenting, that are recording, and see what they're saying. And listen to the mothers that have no idea what happened to their children, that went to school one day and never came home. Got sent home early, of course, without notifying the parents, oddly enough. But you know what's interesting about this is not only were there missing children, but there's missing buses. Buses, entire buses of that school district that have gone missing. There's 13 of them. That's pretty strange. Where did the fucking buses go? Well, they went to an island. They went to a billionaire's island because those same buses showed up on Google Earth. Now, I can't state this definitively, but the coincidence itself is worthy of discussion. Now, this billionaire, who happens to be highly involved in tech, what is it? Somebody throw it in if you know it. Well, it's on the tip of my tongue. Doesn't matter though. Billionaire. No, not Symbio. Good. I wouldn't have thought of one that began with sin other than the actual one. And I might Cisco. Is Cisco? Now I got to look up some other stuff. I gotta see, facts are important to me, so I gotta know. Oh, I thought they just cut me out. I'd like to know the actual. I think that's Larry Ellison. Oracle. My bad, guys. I screwed up. It's Oracle. It's Larry Ellison. So this mother dude had all of a sudden he's got a dock. He owns his own island. And the same day that Lahaina was burnt to ashes and 1,000 people came up missing, hundreds and hundreds of children that would never be seen again, and not to mention buses, not that there was even like where the buses should have been. There wasn't like melted metal, there wasn't rims, there wasn't engine blocks, there was no buses other than the other ones. Minus 13. But, lo and behold, coincidence, I'm sure the mainstream media would certainly tell you, 13 buses happened to show up on the shore, on the receiving dock of Larry Ellison's island, who is a billionaire, who is closely in ties business related with Oprah Winfrey, who has been accused of having children farms, baby farms, baby factories. They go by different names, but essentially genetic inception. Just you don't need anything with today's wonderful technology. You need an egg and you need sperm. And you need an embryo, which can be made artificially now. And then you got a baby. And then you got food. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? Where did my BitChute go? Did they cut me off? Where's my BitChute? I'll do it again, man. We're gonna finish that one. Yeah, they took it down. But it won't be where we end. Do you guys remember what I typed in? Or let me ask you though. Do you want to continue with the other video? Or I mean, I can cover the stuff I have up. I don't know. I was kind of digging what we were watching actually. Whoever created that video, I've never seen it before. No way I'm playing Frazzled Rip. There's no way. Oh, is that what I typed in though? Oh, it was. Thank you. I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry. I know. My bad, sir. I'm sorry. I'm automatically on the defense on that one. Has anybody seen it? Have you guys, any of you ever seen that one? God help you if you have. I regret watching it. I was playing around with Termix, and I had to download the Tor browser, and it kind of came to me. It wasn't even so much that I was looking for anything, but man, oh man, I think I showed. Did you see it, Melissa? What? The Frazzle Drip shit? Yeah, you probably didn't want to. Did you see bits of it though? I think I remember like showing you like a part where she was.
Oh, with the face.
With the face. Yeah, shit's messed up, man. The whole video Not good. Not good. It's true evil. It lets you know who's running the world, right? Like, we're talking about the most prominent, powerful politicians in the world. The screams, especially myths, especially. You're absolutely right about that. That before the scalp, I don't know, it looks like a scalpel. I don't know what it was. But before that gets on, like, that sound, like that, that's haunting. Absolutely haunting. And these are, that her friend there, Hillary Clinton's friend that did that, is like in charge of helping children and sending them to families and shit like that. It's, of course they would be, right? They're not human, though. They're not human. Yeah, Hillary's laugh. That's how you know. Like, before you get a good look at Hillary's face, her laugh lets you know it was Hillary. But then you see it was Hillary. Because I remember for a while there was a little clip circulating where you couldn't see anybody's faces, but you could kind of make out her voice. But I think they do that on purpose, right? Like the intelligence community is like, well, how do we like? Well, you're not gonna beat that one. That's gonna come out. There's plenty of people like me right now that are better, smarter, more creative in ways that they can release this type of information. They're sitting idly by, waiting on a command, on a go, basically. $509 views and only 1 thumb up.
Child abuse in the Podesta art collection. There are also vast government underground tunnels. Obama with a childish WikiLeaks email data dump suggest that none other than Hillary Clinton was very adamant about trying to politically aid Silsby during her arrest and jail time in Haiti. Strangely, most of the children were not even orphans. The assistant director...
I don't know, Sarah. They're always... Like, I can't... I remember a while ago where I used to be able to stay ahead of it, like what they were doing, and I was like on top of it. But Mike, who's not here now, I don't think. I think he's off doing his own thing. But that was what's his name? The first person of the stream, Bleak Narratives. I always forget his name, but. I don't know. I don't want to talk about him without him being here, though. So if you're here, say something, because I got some shit to say.
Director at the Human Trafficking Center, Monica Peterson, died under suspicious circumstances on November 13th, 2016, while reportedly investigating child trafficking in Haiti and ties to the Clinton Foundation. Another very suspicious email that was turned up in the search comes from Tamara Lozado, aka Grand Tam or Farmer L, who served as chief of staff to Hillary Clinton and now works at Pew Charitable Trusts. She writes about providing children via Uber transportation for entertaining some adults in a pool.
These people are... These are your rulers. These are your masters. These are the ones that are telling you that you are the problem. that what you can't, what are you doing here? You extremist, you conspiracy theorist, pay no attention to the wizard behind the curtain, to the little man who is nothing but a little, portraying his power as if it was real. The same illusion that we have here because it's on paper. These are the people that are telling you you're wrong. Your rights are the problem. The fact that you can speak and share information is causing havoc. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it would be nice for you evil, demonic pieces of shit to just bury all of it and silence every single one of us. And that's what they're trying to do. And I will do every single thing that I can in my being to prevent that. Since my birth.
It should be noted that the 1981 documentary Boys for Sale references child prostitution and trafficking as the farm circuit, and Robert Crowley, a former director for the CIA, said that the CIA had its own pedophile academy that they nicknamed The Farm.
They
Also,
still do.
in An Open Secret, a documentary on Hollywood pedophilia, references to pool parties as occurrences in which children are manipulated by powerful predators agree to skinny dipping after dark. Are these just mere coincidences? Now let's look at Evie's blog, where you can see Tamara Lozado pictured with the children. Evie is short for Evelyn, who according to the headline is growing up and soon will be the queen of the entire US of A. Right now, for a limited time only, you can spend some time with her online, raw and uncut. Take advantage of this now, as in the future she will have the power of life and death over you.
What does that
Again,
mean?
this was Hillary's chief of...
What does that mean? And why are they talking about an infant? And why is it called Evie's crib? And the power of life and death over you. What is it that has that power over you? Because they're not speaking to us. They're speaking to those that are looking for that. The power of life and death over you. Well, if you don't have your sustenance, you will die. They're not human. I don't give a how that sounds, man. I'm so tired of like having to do this dance and play these games. I'm so close to just letting it all out and letting you know the whole truth, the whole thing.
Of staff.
Not that you believe it.
And to reiterate, John Podesta was Hillary's campaign manager, who even gave her concession speech because Hillary was too distraught. While Pizzagate was going wild on the internet, Podesta was silent from seemingly all communication, only to emerge a month later to blame Russia for the email leaks. Many claim that Hillary lost because of all of this fake news intended to make her look bad.
Last several weeks of the election were focused on a discussion of emails that had been hacked and leaked by the Russians. These were emails from the DNC and John Podesta.
It's not just people within Hillary's campaign team, but many of the most powerful people within the Democrat establishment are embroiled in a scandal that only keeps getting deeper, wider, and more disturbing. One person who has come under intense scrutiny is former Vice President Joe Biden, who strangely presented President Obama with a childish bracelet for his 55th birthday. Notice the pizza slice charm. While Joe Biden has long been known for being creepy, his behavior while greeting senators' families during a photo shoot is beyond the pale. He would seek out the youngest girl, known as Pizza in the codes, and fondle her right in front of the photographers and family. If he is willing to be this brazen in public, we can only imagine what he is like behind closed doors. When the investigation into Pizzagate was getting into full swing, a few pieces of evidence from the past.
I want to stop this real quick, remind you, share the videos, save the links, make comments, just talk about the channel, guys. Get it out there. I have to keep doing the same stuff I've been doing because we're at a certain number that we just can't seem to breach. We need to, and believe me, I don't want to be on this. I don't want to be on YouTube. We got to, man, just do what you can, please. It's not an ego thing. I don't care about the number.
In the past surfaced to verify the researchers were on the right track. One email in a 2012 leak from Stratfor talks about President Obama flying in $65,000 worth of pizza and hot dogs from Chicago for a private party at the White House. This is highly suspicious for a number of reasons. First, all food served at the White House needs to be prepared by official White House chefs on the premises because of safety restrictions. Also, think about how much pizza and hot dogs that would actually be. In 2008, a D.C. neighborhood commissioner alleged that James Alefantis was using Comet Ping Pong for rape and murder.
Go figure.
There were lots of tweets from 2012 from the late Andrew Breitbart accusing John Podesta of running a child sex slave ring. Many think he was referencing the Acorn scandal, but regardless of the evidence he was examining, Breitbart came to the same conclusion as many researchers. He then died mysteriously. Then Breitbart's coroner died mysteriously.
This is a concerted effort. This is a concerted effort. Politics of personal destruction. Fuck you, John Podesta.
All right, well, you see.
Who is this? Who am I watching right now? This is an amazing piece. Right off the jump, man. I gotta find this person.
Okay. Yeah.
When I talk, that's because I'm interested in this ongoing, whatever the hell they're doing.
What's in your closet, John Podesta? Big Podesta? Big Soros? Do you want us to play these games? Because we're playing to win.
As we will see in the next installment of this documentary, this conspiracy involves both Republicans and Democrats.
It's the same
the military
thing.
Industrial complex, intelligence and law enforcement agencies, and the mainstream media. So why were
That's why you see, like, oh man, people amaze me constantly, never ceases. They think, and it works, so I shouldn't be making fun of it, but I make more or less maybe the people that buy into it. But it's like, oh, our team, no, our team. But they're both using their sides to go after each other, and guess who loses? Guess who loses out of all of it? You know what's going to happen? Look what they're doing. This is an example real quick. The crime, right? These Democratic-run cities that they keep telling you about over and over and over. And the crime rate's absolutely true. 100% true. That's the problem. What's the reaction? Oh, people have had enough. You can't, I mean, everybody's getting their carjacks, or people are getting raped. It's chaos. Now, the reaction is, we need to do something. What happens when Trump gets elected, or Vivek Ramaswamy? Oh, we're going to come cracking down on crime. We're going to go after them Democratic cities where it's no holds barred. But in order to do that, we need to have legislation, because we can't work outside of the law, of course. And everybody's going to be for it. They're going to see it. It's been building up. they're going to have the majority, clearly, because they won the presidency. So they're going to be like, yes, let's do it. We sign on to our own demise. We are begging for the chains of our own enslavement.
Hillary and her team the main targets of Pizzagate revelations? Was this really a plot by a certain faction of the ruling establishment to swing the election in Trump's favor? People stopped talking about both Trump and Clinton's intimate ties to the Jewish billionaire Jeffrey Epstein, his sex slave island, and the Lolita Express. Fingers all were pointing toward Russia as the culprit, and perhaps Obama's subsequent expulsion of Russian diplomats was in retaliation for the release of this damning information. However, we have to consider who has direct access to U.S. intelligence, who has a history of spying scandals, and who benefits the most from the election of Donald Trump. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu seemed to heavily favor Donald Trump, who was the only U.S. celebrity to endorse Netanyahu in his most recent election, wowed AIPAC with all of his promises about Jerusalem being the capital of Israel, said he supports Israel 1,000%.
That was fuck. Sorry, guys. That was very
I was there with just the
prophetic.
crew.
I didn't mean to do that. It's probably going to happen again. My apologies. And part of my language, like I said, when I get passionate about things, so Trump, huh? Everybody's favorite. He's going to save us all. And his close connections with AIPAC and what's going on with listen closely. What's up, Melissa? Good to see you. Glad you decided to pop in.
Pizza conspiracy. We do see.
These were.
Regardless of the evidence he was examining, Breitbart came to the same conclusion as many, and definitely not exposing Israel, which is a notorious haven for sex slavery. Israel is also where a recent ad campaign for Domino's Pizza was pitched, which featured a human tongue in bondage gear, chained to a wall with lacerations on it from sadistic torture.
Nice.
Since being inaugurated, Trump has done nothing to lock Hillary up, as he promised, or made even the slightest indication that the Pizzagate findings will be investigated. It should also be noted that the area surrounding D.C. has an incredibly high rate of missing children. This information is
not an incredibly high rate. That's an understatement. The rate of Washington. Well, here we go again with the facts. I like facts. Let's find out.
Here is information from missingkids.org.
Why do they have DC as a city, but they're comparing it to states? More than 2,000 kids go missing in DC every year. Every year. Well, how many? That's a city, by the way. That's a city. Now let's take Florida. That's a very high populated state.
According to Florida Department of Law Enforcement, last year, about 28,000 missing children reports were made to Florida law enforcement agencies. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement issued 55 missing child alerts and 12 Amber alerts statewide.
Whoa, 55. Let's do this a different way then. Let's go for cities. No, I want to do the states versus DC. I want to get an accurate number on missing children. How do we do this? So current missing children. yeah. So no, I'm not gonna track them down. I don't got the means for that. So there we go. That's what I was looking for. So California, the top of the list. The top of the list has 3,362 open cases of missing children. DC, one city. Now, California has Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, San Jose. Shit, man. You Oakland. It goes on and on and on. Major cities. One city, DC, 2,000. The entirety of California, 3,600 or 3,300. Alaska, it goes to show. Now, why? Why DC? Well, there's a lot of people that need to eat babies in DC. Hate to say it. That's the truth.
Is from the Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Apparently, the state of Virginia has by far the highest number of missing children per capita in the nation at 0.00467. The second highest per capita is the much larger state of Florida at 0.00175.
I guess I should have just waited.
This means that a child in Virginia is about 2.67 times more likely to turn up missing than in second-ranked Florida. Most of the states run about 0.0010, making Virginia a 4.67 to 1 outlier.
Damn.
The state of Maryland, nearby to D.C., is also quite high on a relative basis at 0.00179.
Why?
Almost all of the missing children were concentrated in Fairfax County, Norfolk, and Virginia Beach.
Yep. D.C.
Fairfax is one of the wealthier counties in the
Fucking
U.S.
Virginia.
and, of course, has a high concentration of government employees and officials. Also, the city of Lakewood, Colorado uses a very similar triangle to the Boy Lover logo and has a large number of missing children as well. In 2013, a Facebook photo posted by C. Boutelier, the interior designer for Comet Ping Pong, shows a picture of a young baby girl that looks strikingly similar to Lisa Irwin, who has been missing since October 3rd, 2011. The hashtags need this, want.
Now, guys, I went looking into this stuff real deep. And I mentioned this before. And I bitched out. I couldn't keep going with it because it started messing with me. Like it was too much. It was too powerful. It was too emotional. Like I thought, like at first I was like, oh, I'm onto this and this guy, this channel, and it's showing. But then like when I started like realizing that this shit's real, like it's not just video. Like they're not fucking around. They're like real. It's real. So let me bring it home real quick. And so Melissa, plug your ears because I literally just read your comment as I was saying that. To do unspeakable things to the most innocent among us, like babies and toddlers. But it's not just that. It's not that they just do their thing and get it over with. There's a whole process that leads up to it. Because they have to get as much fear instilled into the child as possible. Because fear releases adrenaline. And man, let's just leave it there.
Want this, pasta and gay baby are tagged with the image. This underground network is very well connected, well protected, and willing to do whatever it takes to keep their operation from reaching the light of day. Many of their activities literally take place in the underground.
And guess what? It's a certain group of people, and they've been kicked out of country after country after country after country. It's a group of people, and they've tried adopting religions at times. They tried masquerading as the people of that country that they've decided that we can't go there. Let's go here. Let's try to mingle with the people until people realize what's happening. But the thing about it is these people are always well-funded. Well-funded. Even in the earliest times, if you do your research, you'll see that regardless of, you would think, having nothing and being kicked out of countries, you'd be just dragging your bags along with you, but that's not the case. They have the full funding of central banks behind them for some reason. And are able to just set up entire nation states with armies to back them up, to take over lands. Palestine, Hamas, Israel. Just the latest. And this... I mean, what's next, right? I mean, we just happen to be alive during this time, but there was other ones that were alive in the last time when this took place. Are they going to be eradicated from the land that they just tried to move in as well? Are they being deemed as evil? No, you can't. See, the power of the media, the power of the internet, the power of politicians to sit there and dictate to you on a massive global scale can change the outcome of this, can tip the scales in their favor. Because never before did they have the technology where they could broadcast the propaganda to the masses. Now they do. And now you're a criminal for questioning, for asking, for wondering what's really going on. What is the blood libel? That question alone puts me on a list.
Let's talk about the McMartin case. April 1985. Authorities went to the McMartin case and looked for tunnels under the school. The children had said that they were taken into tunnels under the school. There was a chamber down there. They were sexually molested. That involved ceremonies. Adults with robes, candles, chanting. Adults had no clothes on under their robes.
I didn't catch that. Is that Gunderson? Is it the FBI director? I'll rewind it. Did anybody catch it by any chance? Oh, it is Ted Gunderson. Thank you, Jen. So somebody who clearly was in the know. Clearly. If you're the head of the FBI, but you know what this was? Same old shit, same old tactics. Modern mainstream media brushing this guy, just like they did during COVID with the Nobel Prize winner of virology, saying he was a quack. He didn't know. He fell from grace. Oh, because he wasn't saying what you wanted him to say? Is that what you mean? Same thing here. Same thing with all of it, right? You could be the best of the best, on top of the game, running the show, but the second you start telling the truth and it goes against the narrative of the evil elite, well, nope, you're crazy. You lost your mind. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an extremist. We need to do something about that. And that's why I focus so much I don't have normally it's Friday now, but normally I don't have time to run through this type of stuff. I just want to cover the fact that they're taking these rights from us. Look at if you like Ireland right now. If you think for 1 second that this isn't going to happen here, I hate doing it because it sounds conceited and egocentric and shit like that. It's not the point, but I've been right almost the entire time about what happens next. And I'm telling you once again what happens next. And it will be your silencing. And matter of fact, you're here. You're going to be one of the first to go to the illegal alien, to the immigration facility. Because that's what they're building it as. That's not what they'll use it for.
And they were taken up into a tunnel and a triplex, a bathroom trap door of the triplex next door. They were taken out in automobiles. We're talking about 2, 3, 4-year-old children, folks, and prostituted in the community. The children also said that they were taken by air up into a mountainous area where they were exposed to satanic ceremonies based on what they described, and brought back in time for the parents to pick up the kids. The children identified professional football players, professional baseball players, household name actors, actresses, and the son of the...
Sounds familiar, right? Like the Epstein flight logs. You got your M&Ms, your Tom Hankses, your... all of them. Right? You gotta be in the know. You gotta be in their little clique. And they joke about it. Remember Cappy? Remember Isaac Cappy? Is anybody watching this right now unfamiliar with Isaac Cappy? Because if you are, you need to get acquainted with it. You need to email me, Tab. I'll send you a set of links to Route 66, exactly. Roadkill, Tom Hanks. We're going to have to, somebody's got to scoop up some roadkill on 66. Right? They knew what they were doing. And then you had Ellen DeGenerate wearing her Run Forrest Run shirt, like when all this shit was going down. It's a game to them.
The leading politician, not a leading politician, the leading politician in Los Angeles as being perpetrators.
There has been much investigation and speculation into the DC underground, including Elefantis' elusive basement, which actually appears to be underneath Bucks Fishing and Camping and not Comet Ping Pong. James Elefantis posted several pictures of what appears to be an attempt to connect the basement of Bucks to the already existing tunnel systems that ran directly under the establishment.
There's no tunnels.
As is the case in most major cities, Washington, D.C. used to have an extensive underground trolley system. One of these lines ran directly under Connecticut Avenue with a station beneath DuPont Circle. This line was in operation from 1949 to 1962. After that, it would serve briefly as a bomb shelter. In 1995, Mayor Marion Barry moved forward with a plan to revive the underground by transforming it into a food court, which was plagued with problems and ended up as a failure. A Pizza Express was the last vendor to leave. This space has recently been revived as the DuPont Underground, a space for modern art installations. The big art installation to kick it all off featured tens of thousands of small...
So unfortunately, your big modern artists, the ones that are being promoted, your big modern fashion designers, the ones that are being promoted, your big celebrities, the ones that are being promoted, your big media anchors, the ones that are being promoted, Look up who they are. Look up their ethnicity. Look up their race. Look up everything you can about these types of people. And don't let me convince you of anything. Let the information itself guide your understanding.
Small white balls, which look just like ping pong balls. The tiles on the wall along the benches appear to be similar to the space featured in some of the paintings of child abuse in the Podesta art collection. There are also vast government underground tunnels connecting the many buildings of the power players of the country's capital, and the deep underground military bases and extensive tunnels around the United States and the world at large. Because these installations are very highly guarded, we know almost nothing about what is really going on beneath the surface, so we are left guessing about most of this. Although we do not have hard evidence of many of the underground activities of the pizza conspiracy, we do see some clues surfacing in popular culture produced by the Hollywood crowd, which is also tightly connected not only to the Democrat establishment, but also to the military intelligence complex. Pizzagate researchers were able to find mounds of evidence and strange coincidences by using the codes to decipher media coming from the Hollywood liberal elite over the years. Although there are many references to pasta.
You tell me why you got celebrities spread eagle dressed as pizzas. They just like pizza. Elon Musk just really likes pizza. They all just really like pizza so much that they're gonna don a pizza costume. Makes sense. Don't question it, conspiracy theorists.
Hot dogs, ice cream, and the rest. The notion of a pizza underground.
Oh, by the way, hot dogs and pizza. Two of the hot dogs, pizza, chicken. Those are the three most common. And $65,000. You can fact check me on the exact amount spent, but I think I'm pretty close. $65,000 spent by Obama or Clinton during the Obama administration, flying in from Chicago, pizza and hot dogs, according to the Anthony Weiner laptop emails that the 9 officers who happened to come across that laptop decided to commit suicide over. Now, it was either that horrible where it completely upended everything that they knew that they were, and I could actually understand that. Like, if you're, like, especially to become a cop, like, you got to be a certain type of fucking bootlicker to even pursue that field, right? I mean, there probably are some genuine ones that are like, I want to make change, I want to do good. But the academy will quickly weed those people out. So who's left, right? People that are like, yeah, no, this is the way the world works. And then all of a sudden to actually come in contact, close contact with the most powerful people in the entire country, if not the entire world, cutting the face off of young people and laughing hysterically as they peer through it. I think there's horror movies that were less horrifying with all of the special effects. I think the rawness and the realness is something that no matter how hard I try, I'll never be able to shake from my mind.
Has definitely been one of the most relevant research topics. First, let's look at Macaulay Culkin's very strange band called the Pizza Underground. They take Velvet Underground songs and then make them about pizza. Macaulay Culkin was once an adorable young blonde-haired boy, best known for his role as the cheese pizza-loving Kevin McAllister in Home Alone. But after many years in the Hollywood scene, it looks like he has had all of the life sucked from him, like many other child stars, such as the Olsen twins.
Pizza! P-I-Z-Z-A.
So pizza is code for the pedophiles is young girl, just so you know. So it makes sense that there's a bunch of young girls, the Ashley twins being part of them, sitting there singing about, I want P-I-Z-Z-A. Maybe not. Maybe we're just looking too much into nothing and none of this. Maybe we're just the crazy conspiracy theorists that they say we are. Maybe we are dangerous to ourselves, and maybe the government should come and lock us up because they're intended on doing it.
I want pizza! Hey! Are you ready to play? Now set down the pizza. I bring some chicken.
Chicken? Oh, shit. Yo, are you fucking kidding me? No. I gotta. Let's do this again. See, that's why I was saying the thing about the pizza. Like, I was like, well, maybe, right? Because you could interpret it. Be like, what? Now you're looking into shit, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, these people are just singing about everybody loves pizza. But then they hold up the drumstick. The two most popular terms: young boy, young girl. And I'd rather not define the condition in which these children are being labeled under these terms as, because that's incredibly disturbing. But these are your leaders that are telling you you're messed up. Don't think.
Give me pizza! Did I happen to say I want pizza? P-I-Z-Z-A. I want pizza! Hey! Are you ready to play? Now set down the pizza. I bring some chicken, throw it on top, and make your finger licking. Guacamole, meatball, whipped cream pouring like waterfalls.
What?
Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen walk into a bar. They say to the bartender, give us 2 ass hurts. The bartender...
Now, I don't know what's up with the right top corner of the screen. I don't know if that was added. Obviously, it was added later on. But whoever added that knows exactly what they're doing.
says, how do you make an ass hurt? The Olsen twins say, well, Bob Saget hands you a chocolate milk that he just made, and you wake up 3 hours later, lying on your stomach. With your pajamas around your ankles.
This joke's about anyway. It's about using your kid, you know, they have a paper route to go to school, and then you fuck them. They walk into this guy's office, and the agent goes, well, what do you people do? And the father's like, watch us. The father's like ripping off his kid's clothes. So the father's like totally undressing his whole family. He takes out his...
You know what these guys all got in common?
Penis, and he goes over to the agent's desk. He starts slamming his dick in the drawer, just flattens it right out like a bookmark, and then just starts smacking his kids with it, flicks them like a wet towel to Jim. And he knocks one of his kids right in the eye, and the kid's eye pops out. Well, he looks at that as an opportunity, mind you. He just puts his flat wiener right in that eye socket, gets caught on the back of his retina. And he starts trying to get him off of him, and he's cockeyed. No, okay. All right, he popped an amyl nitrate. He's got smelling salts that he's been giving to his kids. They keep passing out, you know, the fact that their heads are bleeding.
That's your boy. That's your American's funniest videos. Dad, oh, what a great guy this guy is.
And they've been anally raped in front of an agent yet. And they do a whole cute little ta-da, except 2 of the kids. They're half dead because they just had the shit kicked out of them. They're covered in feces.
Instead of Ashley and Mary Kate, for Michelle, as a 3-year-old kid, they gave me a doll to talk to for rehearsal. a rubber doll, not even plastic, like a test dummy, it looked like a porn doll. It was just missing the stuff.
Sure.
You know, all those. You ever done that? You ever been with one of those things?
Well, not one that I would hold that would mimic a 4-year-old, but yeah. Have I ever? Yeah.
Sure. All the kids that were on the show were very young then. They were young. And they were up in their schoolroom or in the trailer. And I was there with just the crew. It was mostly guys, a couple of ladies, but I had the rubber doll. I'm in the bedroom. I have to do Anthony, the morality play of that show.
The little speech.
Synthesizer music comes in, you start talking, and so there wasn't at that moment, but that was the scene. So I'm in her room, and I'm going, honey, I'm holding the doll. I'm looking into a rubber doll's head. Now, I was always a comedian since I was 17. So I said, I can't do this. Can we just read it? Do I have to do this? I went, no, we need it for blocking. Cameras need to see it. We need to see it. So I'm like talking to it, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then I just grabbed it, and I just threw it on the bed, and I just started pretending, that I was right. So the crew's watching this, and they're laughing their asses off. But I did it kind of slow. I didn't do it. I took my time with it. I didn't want to do anything to offend anybody. At first, I was like dancing with it, and then I was like, laying in the bed talking to it.
Well, foreplay, sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was very lifelike.
Wow.
What? Come on. That's crazy. You can cut this out, right? No. So one of the moms is a punchline. So one of the moms comes down, and this is all true, and she goes, you got to stop this right now. This is on the monitors. The kids can see this in the classroom.
I want pizza!
Poor girls. Many other pop stars for young children also parrot the Give Me Pizza meme, such as Miley Cyrus.
Absolutely, New Edge. That's the game. That's the game. Take Full House, for instance, right? It's something wholesome, something real, everybody. And then people get involved in it. Subliminals aside, which are plentiful, but the people is what they end up in mind. Look where we are now. Like you can't argue the fact that isn't the case, because idolatry. We sinfully tend to idolize our actors, our people, and look into their lifestyles and try to emulate them. And look where that has gotten us now. Doja Cat, Lil Nas X. And it's only going to continue getting more and more extreme. But no, wait. I'm sorry. We're the extreme ones. That's normal. We should be okay with people giving lap dances to Satan. That's fine. Don't question it, though. Don't wonder if there's powerful people doing shit behind closed doors, because now you're a conspiracy theorist being looked at by the power of the federal government funded by your hard-working taxpayer dollars.
Katy Perry and others. Katy Perry can be seen in a recent music video with ping pong paddles and a pizza bathing suit. The whole music video is very telling, especially when you realize it has been created to promote a certain lifestyle to children.
Who's your favorite singer?
What did she just say?
Secret Pizza Party is a children's book written by two Jewish men, which has a lot of these same pizza-related themes.
Yeah, that secret staircase that they're talking about, children under the stairs. That's because that's where they keep them. That's a common place for these, whatever they are, these demons, these reptilians, these extra-dimensional whatever it is that you want to call them, they exist. and they feed off the blood of human beings, especially that of children. They feed off emotion, especially that of fear, and they get high off of adrenochrome, if you wanted to know.
It outraged many parents because it shows the raccoon hero stealing pizza and tells children about the pleasures of keeping secrets. It also features a raccoon splayed out in a manner very similar to a Comet Ping Pong Instagram photo, with adults and children watching in masks reminiscent of Eyes Wide Shut.
Nothing to see
There's
here.
a scene in the movie Enchanted where a man takes a woman who acts and dresses just like a young girl out for pizza.
Watch very carefully. I'm gonna put it in the sand here like that.
Oh, do it again. Show me.
The pizza shop owner tries to poison her, but her chipmunk friend gets in the way and hides under the pizza that the owner then throws into a Moloch-like pizza oven.
Into the mouth.
In A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Freddy Krueger traps the spirits of his teenage victims in a soul pizza as the meat toppings. In this scene, he eats one of their heads in...
And that's how they get a lot of them, guys. So you're an aspiring artist. This is why I can't say believe because I know. But if I didn't know, I would say believe. This is why I believe that it's spiritual and not extra dimensional, not extraterrestrial. This is a spiritual battle that we are in. And we think of it different because we've been brought up and raised to think of spirituality as this black and white type of phenomenon. It's either like mystical and magical and whimsical, when that couldn't be further from the truth. You might as well think of it, it would be closer to think of it as extra dimensional, but that as well is incorrect. It is more of an amalgam. What is it, Tab? It's closer to many of these things kind of compacted into one. That's why they all exist. No, not algorithmic. I think your autocorrect got in the way of that one. No, not allegorical. You said it the first time. Yes. Amalgamation. And that's what it is. It's a combination, but if you, especially theology, man, a lot of these stories, these early stories that talk about this kind of thing, they're clearly not 100% material beings, but they're also not 100% spiritual beings that are etherical. But it's a combination of all of it. And it seems like certain historical societies and different time periods that they existed in and the current way of viewing society at that time kind of dictated the way that they interpreted it all. But they've always told the story. It's always been there right in front of us. It's always been good and evil, right? Good versus bad. Like people that are of the divine nature, those that can create, those that I gotta be careful on that one. Well, said too much. Let's play.
In front of a horrified girl. In a similar vein, the horror video game Five Nights at Freddy's takes place in a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which seems a lot like Chuck E. Cheese. But the animatronics become murderous. In the storyline, the pizzeria had been where 5 children were lured to a back room.
Guys, I could right now, if you want to, I can. But this is an interesting documentary. I like it. It's very enjoyable. But if you want, I can right now go through and show you pizzerias that have the most insane, ridiculous amount of telling advertising. Not just that, but their menu. And you want to buy a $4,000 pizza, right? Like shit like that. I have links saved. I got stuff. So that exists, right? Like this is all over the place. Like this operates right in front of us. And it's only expanding. It's only getting way worse. In order to even get close to that battle, we first must realize that there is a battle, right? Like that's been like the goal of my channel since day one, is to just even try to open people's eyes to the fact that there's a base level attack going on. And then on top of that, there's this whole other spiritual warfare taking place. But apparently I got to jump the gun. I can no longer just... I can't say that because I will. I will still wait a little while. I don't know how long. Until I just literally can't anymore. And start sounding like a madman is definitely what it's going to come out to be. Until things start falling into place exactly as I stated. And then we'll see who's laughing, but I don't think there'll be too many on either side. It's going to get awfully real, awfully quick. And nobody even gives a damn right now. We're caught up in the left, right. We're caught up in this and that. And basically, I'm still trying to... who cares? Whatever.
Room and murdered. There are also references to kidnappings taking place at a pizza place in The Simpsons. In an ad campaign featuring John Cena, the WWE star starts off walking by a pizza sign and then goes on to promote the acceptance of love beyond age.
It should be about love. Love beyond age. Love beyond age.
Why would you even say that? John Cena? Why are they... And they've been doing this. They've been slowly but surely, like they do with everything, incrementalism. I talk about this often. Bringing these new ideas. Oh, age is just... You know why Sodom and Gomorrah happened? You think the wrath of God just fell upon a people for no reason? One could argue it was less of a reason as that we have now. But I've yet to talk to the Father about it.
Since platonic love between children and adults has never been seen as wrong, it would appear that he is overtly promoting pedophilia here. Everything that is seen in a staged filming is put there on purpose, including the pizza sign at the beginning. Recently, the Department of Homeland Security put out a PSA in which they talk about human trafficking. A man walks out of a pizza shop and sees a young girl being sold as a sex slave. In a recent Netflix series called Santa Clarita Diet, a horror comedy TV show revolving around zombies and cannibalism starring Drew Barrymore, she references pizza in a strange context.
I guess, remember, what was it? Santa Clarita Diet.
We have to look out for each other and learn from each other.
Thank you. And may I share something with you? If you miss eating pizza, eat a man who just ate pizza.
Smart.
In a 2016 interview.
There you go. That makes perfect sense. Why does that make perfect sense? Because the chemicals, the molecular structures, if it makes perfect sense. If you can't have access, because they are obviously very secluded, right? Now, there's a lot of these demons, and not like what? That's the problem. That's what we have to relinquish, is this fairy tale vision that we have of what heaven and God and hell and Satan is. It is just as real. It is just a different playing field. It's a different dimension in a way, but but mankind currently doesn't understand dimensions as they are. But when we do, we'll understand that there is a lot more at play. They know perfectly well. But they also eat us. And you think they're going to let on? You think they're going to want you to know what's really taking place? There's so much. I think it's all the fucking dam's gonna break, is what's happening. I'm pretty damn sure. It's been a long time, man. I don't know how much more. I've been waiting for the green light, but I'm going to turn that shit green myself pretty soon here.
Interview on the Norm Macdonald Show, Russell Brand is asked if he likes white pizza and gives a rather strange response.
Fascist Bully Girl 13 asked Russell, how much do you love white pizza?
That's a stripper, I think, isn't it?
I don't know what any of those words
Nor do
mean
I.
in conjunction with one another.
We're going to go to the next one.
That's like a poem.
Can we, yeah.
We're doing so well.
In Knock Knock, a 2015 movie by Eli Roth, a Jewish man who pioneered the normalization of the torture porn genre, the character played by Keanu Reeves is a married man who is seduced by two underage girls who then torture and torment him. He refers to them as free pizza in a scene.
You came to me! I got you a car! I brought you your clothes! You took a fucking bubble bath! You wanted it! You wanted it! You came out to me! What was I supposed to do? You sucked my cock! You both fucking sucked my cock! It was free pizza! Free fucking pizza!
Yep.
It just shows up at my fucking door! What am I supposed to do?
There was FYI, James Alefantis' business is called Big Cheese, LLC. In the 1990 Teenage Mutant...
Who did this, man? This is incredible. I've never seen such a coherent... it's amazing the amount of different, and we're only like a fraction of the way through. It's just constant, one after another. They did their homework. I really appreciate people that aren't people, but angels.
Mutant Ninja Turtles, pizza is delivered through a sewer grate, then transported through underground tunnels, where it is then sliced up.
122 and an 8. 122 and an 8. Terrific. Where the heck is 122 and an 8?
You're standing on it, dude. Just slip it down here.
Wait, doesn't pizza already come in pieces?
It dices, it slices, and yet makes French fries in 3 different. Whoops.
Maybe this is just a coincidence, but interestingly, one of the turtles in the scene is voiced by Corey Feldman, who was one of the biggest celebrities to expose the pedophilia that runs rampant in Hollywood, paving the way for other former child stars, such as Allison Angrim from Little House on the Prairie, Elijah Wood, Todd Bridges, and others who are featured in An Open Secret, which exposes some specific cases, including the abuse by famous Jewish director Bryan Singer, a frequent attendee at Hollywood pool parties, who also said that he used his X-Men films to promote the LGBTQ cause. It only makes sense that the Hollywood elite would be well aware of the pedo codes and be using them in their films. Tying this all together in strange ways is the 1982 film E.T. As Elliot walks outside to first discover the alien, he is carrying a pizza pie right past a ping pong table. Adding to the strangeness of this all, the opponent of the masturbating ping pong player in Comet Ping Pong is a gray alien. And one of the first things people keyed in on in the...
Alright, guys. I don't got a lot of time. I didn't expect to come across this gem, but I'm glad I did. Let's go back and check it out. Let's see what we're dealing with here. So, I can't subscribe. Am I? Am I logged in? No. How am I subscribing if I'm not even logged in? Oh, yeah. The Real Son of Perdition. Thank you. So, let's go back. Let's see what we're... Because, man, Pizzagate and Beyond, the big picture parts 1 and 2. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, I had my own stuff that I wanted to go through. Oh, Morgana's just joining us. There's some real stuff coming, guys. I feel kind of bad because I haven't been 100% with you. And unfortunately, I kind of still can't. And I'm not really quite sure how to find the words. I don't think there really will ever be words that would make any sense to anybody. Like at any time. The ball is now in my court. I remember years ago making videos saying just like quite frankly that I physically couldn't. And that was the God honest truth. The words wouldn't leave my body. Like when I tried to say certain things, not about this. I mean, not about the subject matter we were just talking about. But it all pertains kind of to the same thing. And you guys are more a part of it than you know. You're so much more. And I don't know how or what I could possibly do or say. I don't know if it would make a difference even if I could find the right words. I know it would sound like a bunch of bullshit. Like my whole life, there's certain things that I've known and I've tried to showcase and be like, this is what's going to happen. And then when it does, it's like, oh, well, let's move on to the next. And people's memories just seems to forget. Like I just came across this guy. Never mind. I'm not going to do that. So, hear me out for a second. Picture this as you. Picture you. I'm not gonna bullshit around at all. I'm gonna give you everything that, not everything. I can't. I'm gonna give you a take. So, everybody in here probably has already heard, like the story, right? And unfortunately, it's got to be cliche like that. That's why I tried to avoid telling it in the way I did. I just think it gives context. Melissa. Jen gives her warmest regards.
And my warmest regards back to Jen.
And her warmest regards back to you. God bless you, Jen.
I appreciate you thinking of
I appreciate you thinking of her. Or she appreciates you. Yeah, you get it. I love my wife too. So, I don't need to tell, everybody in here knows that story, right? Like, I don't want to rehash that. Everybody? Pretty sure. I mean, how many people we got in here? Like 9? 16? Close. And only 14 thumbs up? Who the hell didn't hit the thumbs up? Not on my end. On whoever's video we just watched. Thumbs up on their behalf. I'm like stealing their thumbs up. That's shady. And so everybody knows, right? I mean, I probably told it like 4 or 5 times by now. But picture, seriously, like, I'm not just saying that. Like, when people are like, yo, picture this as you, like, people just listen to it. Like, no, seriously, think of it as if it was your life and how you would respond. So, you get basically a reel of life, of shit that doesn't make any sense to you at the time. Nothing. You have no idea. All you know is there's this cute little robot. Basically, I don't know about cute, but intriguing nonetheless. And then you're all of a sudden instilled with an insane amount of information that you don't know anything about, nothing about, just a reel, like a video, basically, kind of, in 3 dimensions and 360 degrees, however that makes sense, if it does at all. And none of it mattered at all. I grew up normal. I had a normal childhood, and it was only as kind of like around 1998, 1999, where I started recognizing that there was like things happening. Actually, it was the Oklahoma City bombing was the very first thing that I remember. I was sitting at my grandmother's house. Well, it was my stepfather's mother, but it's my grandma. And everything that I was watching, I had already seen on the TV. Like not only did I see it, but I seen it. And there's no possible way to verbally express how this works. I don't know how I could, but it's like you're there and seeing it in third person at the same time. Like when I was saying 360 degrees, kind of. It's like all of it. No, it's not nothing like deja vu. It's 100% like I've already known it. Like, so for instance, when you can call it, like, yeah, I just seen it. I don't know who said it, download. That seems kind of accurate because it doesn't waver. It doesn't change. Those visions, whatever that was, whatever it is 100% always the same. Now, sometimes I have no idea what it is. But when it starts getting close, I can connect pieces and be like, oh my God, this is coming. Like January 6th, for instance, that big psyop. I nailed that. I didn't nail it. I was a day off. I got January 5th. But the things that were coming up, like I was like, this is what it seemed. It was like I already lived the life once and then reversed and kept that knowledge. So when it happened again, it's almost like I already knew what was coming. So I was able, and I have been able. Like, I don't need to tout it. Like, it speaks for itself. I'm always way ahead of these things, years in advance. Check out archives. Active Research. He's got tons of it. Tons and tons of old ass videos, years and years old. Go and watch one. It's not that I'm like, there was an understanding. I'm breaking it right now. There was kind of an understanding. It was like I was being told that, and actually, when I say I was physically unable, like the words, I remember trying it. I remember doing it, and I don't know if anybody here was there when I tried, but I've never in my life had that happen to me where I when I went to speak, I could talk fine, but when it was only when I went to say certain things, like I literally physically could not get it out. Were you there, Sarah? I really wanted to. I thought I was gonna be like, you know what? It's time. I thought I was gonna do it on my own terms. I was like, oh, yeah. Well, I decided now that I'm gonna let people know. No, that was foolish of me. I learned very quickly that, and I looked like an ass. Looked like an ass on stream because I thought I was gonna be able to sit there and just. And there's certain things that I still can not say, and it's not like I'm holding back. It's just I've done this. I've lived this life. I know who I am. I know what, and I don't know what it means. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to. I have a pretty damn good idea, but I refuse to accept it, as I think any sane person would. And Like, it's always been in the core of, but now I've started recently realizing that I'm able to say shit that I wasn't able to say. Which, if probably like at least 4 or 5 feds are probably listening and watching right now. Probably some of you. And they're like, oh, this makes the case, right? Because that's what we read in the mainstream. Oh, he was hearing voices. I don't hear voices. But, I mean, you could only imagine how. That's why. There's 2 reasons why. One, the physicality of it. But even if, and now that I still am reserved on saying certain things. And what the am I talking about, right? Like, that's the problem. That's the issue. Somebody said something once in a chat about authority, and it kind of made sense, and maybe I could learn something from it. Maybe not. Maybe here's what I know. I know what's happening. I know what will happen. I'm certain of it. I haven't been wrong. I mean, dates come and go. Sometimes I'm off on the timeline because I don't have. It's not like there was a calendar there beside the events. I can only judge it by what's happening. But it always happens. It always happens. It won't not happen. There's also a spiritual aspect to it. There's also a very crazy technological aspect to it, which I think, I'm not positive, but I think like some type of AI. I think we're dealing with things that we have no idea how powerful they are. And I think we already created it. I think the inception happened a few years back. And that's that technology, that's what I can't say for some reason. It's like when I go to I just get blocked. It doesn't matter, man. You guys got any questions, anything? I'm gonna get wrapping it up. I don't like talking about this shit. Yeah. 100%. I stand by that to the end of time. Melissa Jackson, you're at 100% right that is the case, but it's not just AI. It is a combination of a fallen entity and the combination of so Elon Musk, right? Here we are again, thousands of years later, playing the same game. Let's merge with technology. Let's create, and he has Neuralink. He's going. I've seen this before. Someday, maybe, if this shit's saved, hundreds of years down the road, somebody may stumble across this channel and be like, whoa, he was talking. Just like now, when we stumble across scrolls and stuff, when people were saying things and talking about mythologies and all sorts of incredible things that we could not possibly fathom. So CERN and quantum computing have a big part to play. CERN plays with time and particles which play with time. So CERN is a clock, essentially. And not only is it, but it, in combination with quantum computing, Even Jordy Rose. I mean, you want to talk like what I'm saying sounds crazy? Let's listen to Jordy Rose. Let's listen to the father of quantum computing talk. And let's hear what he has to say. I don't know how to spell it. We'll just do it this way. Jordy Rose, quantum computing, bringing something through.
Jordy Rose, quantum computing, bringing something through.
Jordy Rose pulling something from another dimension.
Jordy Rose pulling something from another dimension.
The turkey may be carved, but John Carver isn't done yet.
You may consider this next group of speakers somewhat unusual, if not to say strange. We have the creator of what is the world's first quantum computer in person here from Burnaby, BC. We have the president of the super high-tech company that makes Canada's iconic Canada Arm, but whose hobby it is to try and reconcile modern science with the Bible. And we have a filmmaker from Los Angeles who has stumbled on what appears to be evidence of life after death. And my thought in putting together this somewhat improbable combination of speakers was that out there where the theory of the very large and the very small connect, and out there...
P4, exactly, man. Very observant, I've noticed. You see, who are you? Who are you, P4? Send me an email. Tell me about yourself. I know very little about you, but you always seem to know exactly what's going on with so many different topics.
Where our 13.7 billion year old and expanding universe touches the void,
just like all of you
come
really
upon mystery and the possibility of God. That's
what I'm trying to tell you guys, man. I don't know how many times I've said it, right? The cliche, you're all here for a reason. I know how that sounds. You don't feel it? You don't feel that inside of you? Tell me you don't. Tell me you don't, and tell me I sound crazy when I say it. Tell me you don't feel like your entire life you've had some other purpose.
My thinking. So let's begin with Jordy. Jordy, I don't understand much about quantum computing except that it's supposed to be the next big thing. In power and in speed, and that you are the only company in the world now actually making one.
Well, hopefully after this 17 minutes, you'll understand what they are and be excited about what you might be able to use them for.
These are really big deals. They come in at about $15 or $20 million a piece.
Something like that.
And have been bought by major American research and corporations.
That's right, correct.
All right, Jordy.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. So quantum computing is a very technical subject, and I'm not going to talk a lot about the specific details, of which I'm glad. You're glad. but I'm going to try to give you an idea about what the kind of thing is that we build and why people are so excited about it. But I'm going to wrap that story in another story. How many of you have children? Let's see, hands. So it's almost everybody. So I have 3 children. The youngest is 4, the oldest is 8. And they're very different, but they share one thing in common. And the parents in the audience may, I suspect, have noticed the same thing. Each of my children has...
So who are we watching? We're watching Geordie Rose. And what is he saying? He is about to tell you the man himself who created quantum computing, essentially, who created the most powerful D-Wave quantum computers in existence right now. Google has one. I mean, every IBM, they all have, IBM has its own, but it doesn't compare to what Geordie Rose has. This guy, this schmuck who's going to ramble on about spirituality and alien dimensions and pulling shit through like a nut job. Would they call him one? Or because what he's accomplished, will they take him more seriously?
Fixated on a particular stuffed animal as being their special friend or toy. And in particular, my middle son, James, absolutely loves this little guy called Bear Bear, which is the picture that I'm showing up here. Bear Bear was a limited release Thai Beanie Baby, and there aren't very many of them that were made of his particular form. And one Christmas, I decided that it would be insurance policy to go and try to buy some more just in case something happened to Bear Bear. So I went on the internet and I did a search, and I was...
Are you guys ready? Simple question. Are you ready for what that entails? Are you ready to come to terms with certain things once the crazy starts coming out? Are you willing to accept certain things? Sure, P4. Which one? I got 100 of them. Well, that's good to hear, guys, because there's not, I don't know how much more time I can, like, I can't wait anymore. The things that are going to start coming out of my mouth are going to sound, and right now, do I sound crazy? Do I sound like I'm not grounded in reality? Is there anything about any of the presentation? Because that's how it... It's what the hesitation of it is, right? It's dealing with... There's a way to approach these types of things, and I've been more than careful. Well, actually, I've been physically... But now I'm able. Now I'm able to speak. Oh my God, I've waited a long time for that. Now I hold myself back. Because I'm aware, believe me, like, let's do a thought experiment real quick. We gain a new subscriber. Now, not this. This could still be perceived as somewhat like, yeah, you're getting into, but let's say 7 videos down the road where we've already had this understanding and we're starting to move forward. And then how is that perceived? How does one approach topics that have been already automatically pre-programmed in people's minds by the media, by so many different facets, to already have a preconceptualized understanding of how they're supposed to respond upon hearing these types of things. Truth in numbers, reason maybe. I guess we'll cross that bridge when it comes, but it's something I've wondered about quite a bit. You're probably right. You're probably right. I'm all out of bubble gum. Do it, man. You guys are awesome. I guess we'll see. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank God for all of you. And there's still, it's not all of you, by the way. We got some stragglers we got to find. That's why I say share. Share. Get it out. I don't know how you do it, how you're going to do it. But if you take any, if you look around, does it seem like this is all, we just watched a little bit of that video. They're not playing around. They're doing insanely evil stuff because they know who they are. But we've all forgotten who we are. We've been completely erased. Not anymore, though. All right, guys. Much love. God bless. I hope you all have a good weekend. Truly. And God bless you all. Much love. Peace.